Hey guys, how you doing? This is Tevin from Simple Forex Options, and come to you guys today with another video. I want to try to make this video as brief as I possibly can. I'm actually really making this for the group members, for those who are maybe in confusion. I have two NADEX tutorials that I've made already, but people are still having trouble, I guess, fully understanding of how to take signals, and also to how to to take signals the way that that I'm recommending them to in the group. One thing I just want to note that, of course, throughout this year's been looking pretty okay, pretty good. I honestly like the way that the markets are looking. They started off the year pretty volatile, of course, and they still kind of are, but we've actually found a way to conquer that in our group. Traditionally, or originally we were doing IT and binaries, which is 75 risk, $25 profit. That's usually what you do in NADEX. That's kind of the usual bare minimum. And we was also doing some 70-30s and stuff like that, but that was mostly 75-25. And then we had switched over to like a 50-50 profit, which means you profit 100% on each signal that you invest in. So it means if you invest $50 and you win that trade, then you would get $50 back in profit. Then we also moved to the 40-60 method, but we only did that for a couple days because it was kind of difficult to get good strike rates for those prices. NADEX, it was very difficult sometimes for those things to even reach. So we really shot ourselves in the foot for even trying to use that. But for people who have a strategy that can make use of that, I would say definitely go for it, because you'll be profiting 150% off of each winning signal. That's if you let it go to expiry. So recently, just around the end of last week, actually, this is around the time it happened, we were trading in the Asian session, and the Asian session was going pretty okay. Was doing an IT and binaries, and in the Asian sessions, the markets are very, very ideal for IT and binaries, because you don't have a bunch of crazy spikes, volatility, all of that kind of stuff like that. And things really do work out fairly well. Now, I still saw the fact that, because if we had a couple signals that would win, and then you lose probably like one signal, it would kind of be like you were up trading all these hours for nothing. So I was really thinking to myself, what could we do? And one of the members in the comment sections, and if you guys don't know, if you're in my group, I listen to my members' recommendations a whole lot, because I realize I don't know everything. And of course, it's not about me, it's more so about making them money. And some of them have some really, really good ideas that they toss my way. And once I think about it and process it, I find a way to try to make it work if I feel like it's plausible. Now, some things I may tell them like, hey, I wouldn't do that, but you could do it on your own if you want. But then some things I may actually implement it within the group if I deem it to be plausible. So that's kind of why I have the Telegram channel. That's why I've went through all of these different kind of trading methods that I've went through. It's really, a lot of this stuff was from recommendations from members. Now, one member, I think it was probably about two members, they had recommended that we do some scalps. Now, if you guys were in the group for a while, we actually did scalps back, and I believe in November, around that time. And we were, investing like $40, and then we was profiting like $30 or $20 or something like that. So we're investing 40 to profit 20, and they actually was working out well for that time. I mean, things look pretty nice, but because we were risking like $40 to $50, sometimes it would be hard for it to reach exactly where we wanted to reach. So what one of the members suggested that we try scalping, and I was like, well, we did scalping a couple months back, so we have experience with it for those who've been in the group, so it won't be anything just new to anybody. So I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and give it a try. Now, we tried it in the Asian session, and we also tried it in the Euro session, but I really wanted to give it a try in those sessions, but I felt like they really wouldn't work, because for scalping, you really need volatile, hard moving markets, which is like the US session, which is what we previously ran from because of the volatility. But this will work perfectly for scalping and all that kind of stuff like that. So technically we end up finding ourselves right back in the US session. And then also it's good for all of us because majority of us will be able to get some sleep because there's not really any Asian traders in the group. So for people who are trading who are in the US or Europe and all those different countries, we were up really late at night from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. And that's in Eastern Standard Time. That's the time that I was up. And it just was kind of difficult for me. You see what I'm saying? So, but I was willing to do it, of course, because I trade for a living. This is how I make money. So I just really didn't see it to be a big of a deal like that. Now, they had recommended this, so we tried it out in the Asian session. We also tried it in the European session. We didn't really lose or make money. It was mainly because the markets didn't really move much. So we really couldn't get much of an effect out of those sessions. And then we tried it out on Friday. Friday was really good. And actually what I started off doing was I was doing $30 risk and then $20 profit, which means that, well, I was doing $30 risk and then I was doing $15 profit because I kind of wanted to start off small, which means that you would make 50%, return on your investment. I tried this out on Friday. It went pretty good. And of course you want your profit to be much higher. So what we did on Monday, we actually did I believe we did some Friday, my fault. We started this on Thursday. On Thursday, we did the 30-15, but then on Friday, we did the 30-20, and that's when you're profiting about 67% of your initial investment. And then on Monday, because I told everybody, like, hey, these things are pretty hard to reach, pretty hard to get profit from. And I spent a lot of hours over the weekend, and especially on Friday, but also over the weekend, I spent tons of times, creating new strategies, making new strategies just to accommodate the scalping method. So on Monday, when we came into trading, we kind of hit the ground running, whatever, came out with a 75% win rate. We didn't really trade too much because we had started after all of the news, and we were doing 25 to 20 investments, which means that you risk $25 in order to get $20 profit back. Now, of course, that doesn't sound like much, but if you trade NADEX, then you know that you can buy multiple contracts, which means if you were to buy 2 contracts for $25, that means you will be risking $50 in order to get $40 profit back. So it's really no different from binary, whatever it may be, but these signals, of course, are much easier to win in binary because you don't have to wait for them to reach or all that kind of stuff. All you're looking for is the value of them to actually change. Now, when we were doing, we switched over to 25-20, and that worked out pretty well for us. And then we also, surprisingly, we were able to get some 20-20 investments, which means that you risk $20 to get $20 profit, which is the same thing as 100% return on your investment. Now, the reason why this is good is because there are some people who start off with very low NADEX balances, which I don't recommend. I always recommend that you start off with a minimum of $500. The more, the better, but that's my recommendation. Well, people who start off with like $250 or $100 or $150, when they would trade, if you're putting a 75 investment down on a trade and you lose, you're probably your first trade or whatever, you don't have money left to make another investment. So you pretty much like shot in the foot. What you're pretty much banking on is that the signal provider can get you a couple of wins in a row that will be able to get your balance in such a place that you can probably take 2 contracts max. So for those kind of people who do a small investment starting off on NADEX, this group and the way that we're trading would be most ideal for you because you only have to invest $20 per contract, $25 per contract, and you will profit $20 per contract, which is an 80% return on your investment or 80% payout. So that is the beauty of it. You don't have to invest large lump sums of money in order to get a small, because if you guys realize this, actually, we were investing $75 just to get $25 profit. Now we're investing $25 just to get $20 profit. So of course it's $5 less profit, but you are paying 3 times less for a contract than you were before. And I set up my strategies actually in such a way so that the signal quality would be the same as the ITM contracts. Of course, I'm not going to tell people my strategy because people go crazy and use stuff wrongly and all that kind of stuff like that. But there's plenty of strategies on my YouTube channel that people can use if they want to trade on their own. But like I was saying was, we've been doing the scalping method, and we're profiting 80% to 100% return on our investment, which is a really, really good look. Now, the reason why I chose to do this with binaries as opposed, because Forex actually, NADEX has Forex spreads that you can actually use. The reason why I chose to do this on binary, though, is because in binary, you would get much more money for a lesser amount of move than you would in Forex. For example, in the Forex spread, if the market moves 10 pips, then you would get $10. And it has to move 10 pips from your spread rate. So a lot of times, because NADEX, the way they have their spread set up, it may have to move really 12 pips or 15 pips in order for you just to get a $10 return on your investment. And then sometimes you are risking $50 to $100 to $200 sometimes on those spread signals in order just to get that $10 to $20. And the ceiling, of course, is much bigger, but you can also lose a little bit more because the market can move against you, whatever it may be. The reason why I chose NADEX binaries is because the market can move the same 10 pips and you could actually be in profit at $20 instead of just $10. And that is the beauty. Now, of course, I'm telling you guys small numbers, but once you buy more contracts, because there are people who buy 10, 15, 20 contracts, so that money really actually piles up. So if you were to buy 20 contracts, that means that you would be risking $400 in order to get no, if you buy 20 contracts for 25, well, yeah, if you buy 20 contracts for $25, that means that you would be risking $500 in order to get $400 back on return, which is really, really good. And beforehand, that would be impossible. You have to be risking like almost $1,500 just to get $400 back on your return sometimes. And I'm just tossing numbers out there, so it's not like a definite thing. But I had to give a little spill on that. With the scalping strategy that we use, well, they don't know the strategy. The people just take the signals. But I set up probably about three to five strategies, and on each of my charts, I have probably a minimum of 8 to 10 indicators. On most of them, it's probably only 1 or 2 charts that I have with only probably like 1 or 2 indicators. But it gives me a gauge of the markets, and it allows me to look at things from a longer time frame to a lower time frame that I can make the best possible decision for that moment. Now, one thing I also wanted to say, today was a really, really good day, and not because it was the best trading day in the world. It was mainly because yesterday I had suggested that I wanted to try trading during the U.S. news, during the U.S. session, because usually we avoid this. But when you look back at the charts of the U.S. session, you will realize that that's the most volatile time, which means markets are shooting strongly up, markets are shooting strongly down, and that's actually the easiest time to get the moves in. Now, the beautiful thing about NADEX is because you can invest a small amount of however much you want, and if the market moves against you, you don't really lose much. You can really make that up back throughout the day. It's not that big of a deal. But if the market moves for you, then that means it was a winner and you're in good standing and you took the right chance. Now, with the U.S. session, the reason why I chose to do that is because during the U.S. session, in the heat of, especially in that 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. markets, that's when the most volatility and volume actually happens. And that's what you want. Now, I noticed the first 2 days that we traded for the 25-20 contracts with the scalping method, we realized that trading in, we were trading after all of the news. And sometimes we wouldn't start to I think we wouldn't start to 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. or whatever it may be. And really, the markets kind of start to slow down around that time. They still move, but not as much. So it's a lot slower to get profits, and things are not hitting quick. I'm gonna be honest with you. We was entering on signals. This is all honesty, because I give the signals 2 hours, which is more than enough time. I give the signals 2 hours in order to gain the profit, or gain that $20 profit or whatever it be. So that's more than enough time. Some of our signals was taking profit out within probably 3 to 5 minutes. Probably even 1 minute on one of them, I recall, and we actually profited off of the same signal 2 times, and there were probably other people who profit off the same signal a couple times, whatever it may be. But they were hitting their their target profits within a couple of minutes of us posting the signals, which also means we didn't have to do nothing for the next 45 minutes, have to watch charts, just wait for the next signal to come up. So it was really, really good, worked out really well during the US session, and we're definitely going to keep pumping this out, keep grinding it out. And our trading hours is from 5 a.m. EST to 5 p.m. EST. Now, one thing I want to mention, I was talking to you when I was talking about NADEX. Some people had trouble kind of taking these signals, and not that they have trouble, it's because they're not used to scalping and taking profits. The beautiful thing about NADEX is you don't have to scalp or take profits and all of that kind of stuff. You don't have to sit here and watch it. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example of how I place a trade. Now, let's say that I place a trade for all the USD, and I say sell, so it's at 0.7710. I say sell to all the USD at 0.7710. Bam. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click, I may say sell for 75 for the sell, but I'm just going to click on $88 just to show you guys, for example, so they can enter me in on the trade. Now, once it says order received, you're going to see that my trade is going to show up here in the open positions box. Well, it should. Give me a second. That's if it actually entered for me. But yep, my trade shows up here in the open position box. Bam. So you see right here 0.7710 for 5 p.m. That's the expiry time, and technically it's an hour from now, but I usually do the signals to where they have 2 hours to actually move. Now, see right here, your trade is in, and let's say that I've posted this signal, you are in on the signal, and in the bottom of my signals, you'll see something that says or TP, which means take profit. I would say take profit at, and I'm always going to put it $20 at $20 profit from the signal that you entered in on. So because this is 88 and you want the market value to act, the average price of the value to go below 88 in order for you to make profit, I'm going to say take profit at 20, which would technically be $68. Bam. Once you do that, your order is in right here, $68. You actually paid $12 for this, and you'll be taking profit at $20 right here. So it says 88, but you really paid $12. When you do sell positions, everything is just a different from 100. So you would have to take away this number from 100 to find out how much you paid. But when you do a buy position, which is on these sides, they just tell you straight up how much you pay. So if I were to click on this and I were to click on that, I would technically be paying $87 for that straight up. But if I click on this side, I wouldn't really be paying $78 for this. I would actually be paying $22 for this. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference with those. You just have to, on the sell side, you have to subtract it. And most people really don't always get that sometimes. So yeah, open position is open. Bam. And I've already set my take profit. And the way you set your take profit is you have to click on the open position. This box will come up with a ticket up here, and the buy side will already be checked. You don't have to check it or check the box. It'll already be checked. So they pretty much already doing everything for you. You want to have limit GTC check, because that's it. Because if you have market order check, it's going to exit you straight out of the trade at that price. You want to make sure you have limit GTC checked. And that's the way you can put in the manual price or custom price that you want. And as you guys can see, I've already put in my price of $68, so I don't have to do this again. Now, if you want to edit your take profit, let's say that you want to take profit at $15 as opposed to $68, all you have to do is take the difference away from 88, which means what's 88 take away 15? 88 take away 15 would technically be, let me make sure I'm counting right. It'll probably be 73. Yes, 88 take away 15 would be 73. So if you want $15 profit, bam, right there. And this is on the sell side. That's why it's like that. So once this market, you'll see right here, the market's not moving. But once this current market reaches down to this price, and it goes when it shoot past here, because you see it's $10 in loss right now because it's $10 higher than your average price. But once you see current market shoot down here, it'll reach that. Once that reached down to 73, this working order will trigger and it'll automatically exit you out of the trade, which means you don't have to be watching it. You don't have to sit here be looking at the charts, all this kind of stuff like that. All you have to do is just let it do its work. It'll exit you out of the trade. All you really need to be doing is paying attention to me on Facebook. So if I post a comment, or if I post something like exit at this point, get a stop loss, get a break even, whatever it may be, that's when you really want to be paying attention. But you don't really have to be up here watching it. Some people do, some people don't. It don't matter. I mean, what I'm doing sometimes I'm probably watching some cartoons, watching something because I have a TV here in my office. I'm playing video games, looking at YouTube videos. I'm doing other stuff while this trade is going on, so I don't get boring and stuff like that, just watching charts the whole time. But you know, people into that kind of stuff. But once you've been trading for a while, you realize that after a while, if you come to a point that if a signal loses, then it loses. If it wins, then it wins. It just takes too much headache just to sit and watch something. But you do want to be paying attention to me on Facebook. So the way that you do that, you just like the comment section, or you follow me on Facebook, and you should be able to see when I comment in a thread, when I post a comment, to take a stop loss, to take a break even, take profit, or even a correction on a signal. Also, one thing I wanted to mention too as well, all of the signals will be 25 risk to $20 profit. That's what we're aiming for. Some of them today were actually $20 risk for $20 profit, which is really, really good. Actually, that's much better. So if you, and all of the signals also as well will have a 2-hour range that they can work with, a 2 to a 1.5 hour range. So if I post a signal at 3 p.m., it's most likely going to have a 5 p.m. expiry. The reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes I rush to post a signal in the group so that people don't miss. Ooh, I'm sorry, I had to burp. But sometimes I post a signal in the group so that people don't miss a good entry. And sometimes I do a typo. I may do a typo on the signal or something like that. And some people don't really catch the typo because they're not used to the signals. So for them, they may get in on a wrong trade for a wrong time or for a wrong price, and they're kind of stuck there. So the reason why I'm saying this, guys, if I make a mistake, just use the common sense to be able to tell that that's probably not the right signal. And most people are actually willing to tell that. They're willing to put in the comments, is this the right signal? And it'll make me recheck. And I'm like, oh, snap, there was a typo. Sorry, my bad. And I really need to fix that because it's probably cost people a couple bucks. But yeah, and it doesn't happen that often though, but it has happened on occasions. And it's really my fault because I'm really trying to get the signal out there as quick as possible. So yeah, if you guys recognize, and I'll do a buy side so that you guys have another example, because I want to try to keep things as clear as possible so that you guys can really understand and comprehend. So yeah, if you want to exit out on this trade, you see it's on 99, the buy side is already going to be checked. You can just do market order, that way you don't have to keep clicking on the junk. But market order, bam. Wait a minute. Oh, well, I guess it's not going to exit you out. But yeah, let's say that we do a buy. You're going to do the same thing for a buy. And let's say I want to buy this for 14 bucks, 13, 14 bucks, whatever it may be. Bam. Buy that. I'm in for 13 bucks. And all you want to do, if you want to set a take profit, which means you don't have to wait for it, just go, once you enter in on the signal, go in and set that take profit. Bring it up. It's going to already have the sell side checked. You don't have to check this. I didn't press any button to check this. It's already checked. Bam. Limit GTC is up. And all you want to do is go down to the price, and you want to put, if you want $20 profit, you want to put $20 more than 13, which should technically be 33. So when the value of the market reaches up to $33, then when you see this 13, or you see the current market reach up to $33, it'll automatically exit you out of the trade. You'll be out of the markets with $23 profit, and you only risk $13 in order to get that. So, and I'm only doing this for clarity for new members, people who are joining the group, but also so people don't be so confused about be so confused taking the signals, because I don't want people to be losing live or real money because they have problems with the platform in itself. So that's why I keep doing these NADEX tutorials, because I kind of want to address the platform hiccups that people have, so that don't be like a determining factor of whether or not they continue to trade or not, you know. And NADEX is not that hard to use. You just got to get used to it. Once you get used to it, it's a piece of cake. It's not that serious. So yeah. So let me go to exit out of this. So yeah, also too, if you guys want to sign up, we have 2 weeks left in February. The group is only $20 a month. So I have 2 weeks left. If you were to join this week, you only end up paying $10 in order to finish out the month. But it's $20 at the beginning of each month, and I do a group removal, which means that people who haven't paid for the next month, I just remove them out of the group. But you can join any time in the month that you want. Some people do that all the time. They may not be in for at the beginning of the month, but they'll join like a couple days later or something like that. So I don't know how people get paid and all that stuff, so I don't really question that. It's just however you do your thing is up to you. But if you want to join, definitely here, all you have to do is add me on Facebook. And matter of fact, I'll just put my Facebook page link in the YouTube description so that you guys can actually just click on it. But just add me on Facebook, shoot me an inbox message, just let me know that you want to join the NADEX Signals group, and I'll shoot you a message and reply so that you can be able to join the group and get started trading with us ASAP. So all right guys, love you all, enjoy, hope you have happy trading, and I wish you guys the most profits. Peace out, deuces.